It had to be you. It had to be you. I wandered around and finally found somebody who...
Curley used to manage Spanky Our Gang. That's how we kind of got started. We were friends first, and then we stole him away from this nightclub in Chicago. We all moved to New York, and we had our little success story. But then Curley went on to live in Ferndale and raise and train Arabian horses, and they did horse shows and won some medals and things. But what was interesting about it for me and Curley was that he was doing the music for the horse shows with our good friend Michael Miller. And what fun that must have been. Like, here comes, I don't know, Skywalker or something. The music.
You know, and they would trot to the music.
Like, Billie Jean is not my love. Right.
The first time that I met Spanky was at another blues club that I had with my partner.
In Chicago.
And
I'll help you.
thank you. And there was a bar upstairs, and the entertainment was downstairs. And I kept hearing this voice. You know, the performer was on the stage, and I kept hearing this loud voice. You know. So I go up the stairs, and that's how I met Spanky. My first words to her were, "Be quiet." And I've been saying it ever since.
I had at the time a group called the New Wine Singers. Now I'd already been through the Jamie Lynn Trio, and now the New Wine Singers. All these girl singers in these groups would get pregnant. But I mean, it was so weird. It was like, okay, she's out, you're in. So as long as I could, you know, keep my knees together, I was gonna have a job. Oh dear.
Yes.
Anyway. So I just started Spanky Our Gang, and we were a trio of, we were a jug band and comedians and singers. Because we didn't have enough songs, so we had to be comedians. So they put us on for this whole 6 weeks. We were the opening act for all these jazz people. And all these people would come to see the jazz. And they were like, kind of like left over from Beatnik era. They're like, they'd see us, and I'm up there blowing my jug and doing my washboard, that Coney Island washboard, Calamine, they're going, but
Less.
it was, we were able to hone our craft in those 6 weeks, and it really was fun, and we, I'll never forget it. But then we went on, and Curley kind of was looking out for our careers, and we signed with Mercury Records, and had our first hit, and then we needed to move to New York, and we didn't see how we could possibly do it without Curley. So we stole him away from other blues, and we all moved to this, well, first to the Chelsea Hotel in New York. Woo! Leonard Cohen was living there, and Janis Joplin, and all kind of people were living there. We went out every weekend.
Just played a lot of college.
It was colleges then. We would open for George Carlin or Richie Pryor, or sometimes they would open for us. I mean, whoever was around. We toured with all those bands, Fifth Dimension and the Turtles and the Association and the Bee Gees. Yeah, the Bee Gees. I won't tell that story about the Bee Gees. I won't.
Spanky, you were involved in George Carlin's funeral. Did you sing at the funeral?
I did. We were in Chicago, and we heard the news that George was dead, and I'm going, no. That's some weird mistake. But when it's on CNN, it was, so I called his daughter. She said, you have to come and sing for Dad. And it was a private funeral, private meeting that like comedians like Bill Maher and Gary Shandling and Louis Black and all these, his brother Pat Carlin is hysterical, at least as funny as George is. Anyway, George's funeral was not a solemn occasion. It was hysterical. Everyone got up and told a George story, and the one was funnier than the next. And then we all ate and shed a tear, and then went back to Kelly Carlin's house, and we sang. My daughter was there, DC, and my friend Eddie had his, it's It's a box that the slaves used to play. A cajon, right? It's called a cajon. This, when the slaves came over, they had talking drums. Well, of course, the white men took the drums away, so they had these crates that they gather crops or whatever, and they would play the crates. So it was my daughter, Eddie, Jimmy on guitar, and me at the funeral, and we sang a beautiful song called Back Home, and it was a blues. George loved the blues. His daughter knew that, I can't even say it anymore, how to go round or whatever it is. The 1 3 5 8 7 6 5 4 3 5 2 3 4 sharp 5. I am totally dedicated to having fun for whatever is left. And I hope to have it here in Ferndale.
With all your faults, I love you still. It had to be you, wonderful you. It had to